Oh, there I am. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of No Credentials Required Friday Happy Hour, presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media. Just want to remind you, just a friendly reminder before I go into the show topics tonight, that I want to remind you to follow this channel on our on social media. That would be Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, Facebook.com/BellyUpNCR, and on YouTube, just hit the just search for No Credentials Required. All right, and before I get into my beer of the week, I got to make a quick shout out here for you to call my friends, and for anybody who's watching. I just want to mention this GoFundMe account that's going on right now for a friend of mine named Brian Snow. If you watch the Rod Peterson show, or if you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, you might know him from the Snowman in the Morning. He recently had some health issues, unfortunately, and now he's facing some tough times in regards to his medical bills. He had to have emergency surgery to remove blood clots in his lung, which is pretty scary. I mean, I had my sister-in-law who had faced a stroke last year. She had to have brain surgery, unfortunately. But just want to share with you his GoFundMe page. It's called "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" And he's got to raise some money for some bills. So a friend of his has launched a GoFundMe account. He's trying to raise about $4,000. I've contributed. Had some other friends have contributed. Some viewers of the Rod Peterson show have contributed. So if you're watching right now, please consider giving. Brian's a good dude. He's a great guy. He knows his stuff in regards to sports, in regards to football, especially. I answered one of my questions once, so I was very happy to know that he's still with us, and he's facing a load of health issues, and now he's losing. He might lose his apartment. His wife might lose his apartment, and amongst other things. So so again, a friend has asked to who's raised some money, and he's asking for help. So he needs about $4,000. He's almost halfway there. So if you have some extra money, extra coin, you're thinking about giving. If you need a good cause to give to, Snowman is definitely one of those guys. So just go to GoFundMe, look for the fundraiser called "Do You Want to Build a Snowman" by Adam Freeman. I guess they're buddies. He was buddies with Brian Snow in college, so he started this GoFundMe page to help him out. He needs about $4,000 again between medical bills, other expenses, rent. He's facing some tough times, so help a guy out. Hopefully, you can have some extra coin, make a contribution, and just help a guy out. Help a guy in the sports media community on the radio. I know, like I said, I know he's in the Charlotte area. He does a morning show in Charlotte, so please help out. Please help out. Just wanting to give us some notice. Call some friends. Calling all friends. This is a special alert from your guy Ryan McCarthy here at No Credentials Required. We just want to help somebody in need. If you're looking to help somebody in need, Snowman is it. So hope you can help him out. All right. So now that we've done that, got a little business out of the way, let me go ahead and share with you what I'm drinking tonight for No Credentials Required Friday Happy Hour. I'm drinking Athletic Brewing Company Upside Dawn, their Golden Ale. That's the can. And I figured, all right, so I'll have the cat out of the bag. We now, here at No Credentials Required, we now have an affiliation partnership with Athletic Brewing. So, as somebody who's trying to be more active, I go to the gym about 4 times a week now. I'm trying to push it to 5, but let's not get too hasty. You're looking for something light and refreshing after a workout. Some might say a shower beer. So Athletic Brewing Company is making made a non-alcoholic brew. And I know what you're saying, Ryan, are you nuts? No. Again, I'm trying to lose a little bit of the spare tire here, trying to get a little bit more in shape. I got a beach vacation coming up next summer. I want to look good on the beach and lose some of this weight and look good for the eligible ladies out there, so to speak. But you want to look good at the beach. You want to look good by the pool. So I'm trying out the Golden Ale. It's called Upside Dawn, and Athletic Brewing Company. It's less than 0.5% alcohol. So I know I've been doing some research in regards to alcohol and muscle recovery, and I don't mean to turn this into a fitness hour, but alcohol, it's not good for recovering muscles. When you're working out, you're lifting weights, you're tearing muscle, it has to repair. Alcohol doesn't really help out with that. So I'm trying to be conscious in terms of what I'm consuming after my workout. Pre-workout, I'm doing, I'm putting in my pre-workout, drinking that. I'm eating a Built Bar, which again, we have another affiliation with Built Bar as well. So this is the Golden Dawn by Athletic Brewing Company. And again, we have an affiliation. What I'll do after the show is I'll put up the link where you can buy Athletic Brewing, you can buy it online and help out the show. Help out the show. All right. So that is the sound of the weekend, folks. I'm going to pour some into my loyal co-host, Mason Jar mug. All right, so let's see what this looks like, folks. Again, this is Athletic Brewing Company, Upside Dawn. Brew without compromise. Ooh, okay. All right, so far so good. Golden ales are typically lighter. And the one thing about Athletic Brewing, they're trying to make beer that's non-alcoholic but also light in calories. This is only 50 calories. So if you're looking for a workout, post-workout shower beer, you might want to consider this. All right. Here's to the weekend, folks. Cheers. We made it. Okay, good smell. Not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of like a light beer, but it's got more taste. Kind of Bud Light or Coors Light or Miller Light. This has got more taste. It's not like drinking water. This is definitely a crushable beer. This is definitely a beer you want to have in the shower. That's for sure. So again, thank you, Athletic Brewing Company. We are now a proud affiliate partner with Athletic Brewing Company. Again, I'll post the website on all my social medias, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Let you know where you can go find the beer, purchase some beer, and help out the show. All right, folks, let's get into some sports. Before I do that, though, I have a proud family moment. The McCarthy family. Last week was the NCAA national. They declared that they were allowing athletes to use their name, image, and likeness to make money. Ooh, excuse me. After years and years of fighting, going to the Supreme Court said absolutely college athletes can make money off their name and image and likeness. So the NCAA said, okay, go ahead. And I actually wrote an article this weekend on Belly Up Sports about just breaking down what name, image, likeness is, who benefits the most. And I should have mentioned this in the article, whether or not it was optional. It's completely optional. So if you're an athlete, college athlete, you don't want to use your name, image, likeness, you are more than welcome. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, but it would be a nice help because only 2%, I mentioned in the article, only 2% of athletes in the NCAA get a full ride scholarship to their college. And a lot of these sports that we have, like I guess swimming, field hockey, golf, don't offer college scholarships. Division III, you don't get any scholarships at all. You with for athletic scholarships, academic scholarships you can get, but athletic scholarships, they are, I wouldn't say verboten. They're not really verboten, but they are. Um, they don't have any athletic scholarships. So if you're in Division 3 college, you have the opportunity to make some coin. So I texted back and forth with my nephew while I was at the car dealership getting my car repaired, software upgrade. I texted my nephew who goes to college. Goes to a Division 3 college, and I said, "Hey, have you considered using NIL towards your for money for your college, because he plays he goes to Division 3 college in Rochester, and he's a 2-sport athlete, although he's going to drop one sport and try out for another. But he said, no, I haven't really thought about it. I'm like, all right, consider it. Maybe write the Barstool Sports, because he's a big Barstool Sports fan. And I mentioned to him, like, hey, why don't you come? No, we got Barstool taking applications for Barstool Athlete. Why don't you reach out to them? He's like, all right, I'll give it a try, even though they've probably got thousands and thousands of applications for Barstool Athlete. And if you go to their Barstool Athlete page, you're going to see a lot of volleyball, men's, women's volleyball, hockey, golf, lacrosse, field hockey, swimmers. A lot of those athletes who don't get full rides for scholarships, or they go to smaller colleges like a Division 3 or Division 2 college, and they don't have that much money going towards them. Again, it's going to offset student loans forever. You're going to see a lot more kids doing esports, doing esports now. Esports is a big thing. Esports is now a college sport. So if you're an esport, if you do esports, you can use your name, image, likeness for a computer company or an energy drink brand or towel or controller or whatever you use for your equipment. You can use that as your name, image, likeness to, again, offset student loans, offset the cost of athletic, off the cost at the counter. I can't talk. Offset your tuition. So 2 days later, I get a text message from my sister-in-law, and she said, "Can you please call your brother? We have questions. He has questions about Barstool Sports and my nephew, Christian." And I go, "Oh God, did he talk to him?" So he talked to his parents about an image likeness. So I call my brother. Okay, I guess we're back. Sorry, folks, having some technical difficulties with my router, my Wi-Fi here. Actually, I plugged in directly. But anyway, get back to my story. So my nephew decided to apply to try to play this game. And lo and behold, I'll show you the clip.
We need some mound presence.
We do.
And I feel like that's always important, especially when you're going toe-to-toe, mano a mano. Jared, let the people know who we're rolling with.
We got the big righty. We're taking Christian McCarthy.
Christian McCarthy. Watch the man flow. Watch him work.
He's majestic.
It is. It's a nice mix as well.
They call him the righty David Wells.
Yeah.
Love him. I love everything about him.
He's like Sidney Ponson 2.0.
Dave, you know as well as anybody that, you want to say it with me? Mass equals gas, baby. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're dialing it up. We've got athletes. We've got hair.
Yeah.
And the face.
We got morale and mullets. That's what
Morale and mullets. That might be our unofficial team name, Morale and Mullets.
we got fucking mound presence, mullets, and morale.
Wow. M&M boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to Iowa. So on July 31st, my nephew is going to be playing in the Barn Burner Classic at the Field of Dreams in Iowa. And both myself, my nephew, my brother, my sister-in-law, and my sister, some of our family is going to go to Iowa in the middle of a cornfield to watch my nephew play a 9-inning game with a bunch of other dudes with marvelous hair and power. It's gonna be a fun time. Maybe I might do I'll try to see if I can do a live edition of Friday Happy Hour from either the field or somewhere or brewery around there. Maybe from my hotel room at the in Dubuque, because we're going to have to stay in Dubuque because there's not many hotels in Dyersville. So that's a proud family moment. So proud uncle. Proud uncle. All right, so let's talk about the Stanley Cup final. And if you had missed it, if you've been living under a rock, or you've been not paying attention to hockey, the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup championship for the second year in a row. First time since the Penguins did it in 2016 and 2017. They won 5 games against the Montreal Canadiens. They won 1-0 on Wednesday in front of their home crowd. The mayor of Tampa got her wish when Lightning lost Game 4. She got her wish for the Lightning to come back to the St. Pete Arena. I'm sorry, the Emily Arena. Sorry, I forgot it's not the St. Times Arena anymore. It's the Emily Arena. And they went in front of their home crowd. So congratulations to Tampa Bay Lightning. This was a weird year. This was a super weird year. And it was, we weren't sure if there was going to be a season. Then they decided to go with a truncated schedule, 56 games, in division only, 4 divisions, realignment, COVID everywhere, COVID on teams, including Montreal. Montreal, I mean, they had to play, I think, 28 games in a 32 or 36 game stretch. And then went up backing into the playoffs. The 4 seed in the North Division, the Scotia North Division. Remember that. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the team names having, the division names having corporate sponsorships, which was kind of funky. But we had hockey fans had to endure that kind of a stretch too, where they wouldn't see some of their favorite teams play for a large amount of time because half the team was in COVID protocol. They weren't even sure if they were going to finish the North Division games because Montreal was in COVID protocol, and then Vancouver near the end of the season they go into protocol. Most of their players, almost half the team, had COVID, I think. But it was a crazy year, and it's going to lead into a crazier off season. To which my next topic, NHL off season banana sandwich. It's going to be, as the great Pat Patterson once said, it's going to be banana. If you don't know who Pat Patterson is, look him up. It's going to be a crazy off season, and it's going to start in 12 days with the Seattle Kraken expansion draft. And if you haven't looked at their Twitter page, and it gives a countdown of it says we're coming soon. We're gonna steal your favorite player, and it's true. That's the genius of the Seattle Kraken's social media team, is that they're gonna steal your favorite player, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun off season. I'm kind of curious to see who's going to pick up who the Kraken are going to pick up. I think rosters will. I think teams are slowly going to release their unprotected picks, their unprotected players. I know for a fact. I'm pretty confident that New Jersey will. They won't. I'm wearing a New Jersey Devils t-shirt here because that's my favorite team. I think that they're gonna keep a certain amount of players unprotected. I know they can. I think 8 skaters and 1 goaltender, or 9 skaters and 1 goaltender. They can leave unprotected. So as to who they're gonna keep unprotected, I think was Aaron Dell. I think they're gonna keep him unprotected. I would be very surprised if they protected PK Subban. And the reason why I say that is because PK Subban has a $9 million ball and chain wrapped around him. It's around his ankle. And that's not to describe his skills, his lack of skating or skill set. That's just because of the salary cap. And we're now living in salary cap times, and I believe they're going to have it lowered. It's going to be a lower salary cap next year. So every team in the NHL is now trying to get to try to shove as much of their salary cap out the door as much as possible. Any player who's not worth either not getting older or making too much money will either be unprotected in the draft, or they'll be traded before the free agency starts, so teams can maximize their cap space. There's a few teams that are in draft and cap heaven right now. A couple of them, like my New Jersey Devils, is one of them. Buffalo's another team that's in salary cap heaven. The Detroit Red Wings, basically any team that finished in the lower 8 this season, the lowest of 8 teams, they're in cap heaven right now. And amongst the teams who finished later in the season, especially in terms of playoffs, they're currently in cap hell, and that includes the Tampa Bay Lightning. Allegedly, they kind of circumvented the salary cap, which is what you can do in the which is what you're allowed to do in the playoffs. Salary cap be damned, I suppose. So let's give a talk. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be left off in terms of which players are unprotected. Some players might be a nice get. I mean, it depends on what Ron Francis is going to do. Will a lot of teams leave off older players who been probably between their mid-20s and early 30s? That will be unprotected. Younger players who may have been the roster, have a little bit of NHL experience, who are cheap. Will they be added to the roster? Will Seattle try to go for some name power, like a PK Subban or a goaltender like Sergei Bobrovsky? Could he be left unprotected because he's got a $10 million ball and chain wrapped around his ankle too? And he didn't play that well this year. I mean, the Panthers invested a lot in him. He was expected to have a couple big seasons after his time in Columbus. He was basically the guy in Columbus, and now he's just another guy in Florida. So whether or not they pick him up, whether Florida keeps him unprotected or they trade him before free agency starts in the next after that week, because not only do we have the expansion draft on the 21st, the entry draft will take place on the 23rd and 24th. And some say that there's a lackluster, it's lackluster this year in terms of the draft, in terms of who's out there. I foresee a lot of the college athletes, like a lot of the U.S. college players who are eligible, like an Owen Power or another, or some other high-end college players out there. They could stay. And the reason why they could stay is because NIL. Simple as that, NIL. And NIL is a big reason why a lot of these kids might stay in school after they're drafted. Just a moment here. Yeah, just let my team at Belly Up know that I'm live, like a half hour late. but no, I foresee a lot of college kids they get drafted, but they stay in school because they'll make money off of the name, image, likeness. So like an Owen Power, he might stay. The other high-end college players, but it's going to be an entertaining draft, I think. I forget one of the number one picks. Oh, Buffalo, of course. Buffalo was the number one pick of the draft, and Seattle. I think Seattle's picking 2, and then when my New Jersey Devils are picking either 3 or 4. So we've got a fun off season ahead, and it starts in 12 days with the expansion draft. We're going to actually have, I believe, either Cannons and Tomahawks or Slapshot Sweethearts or our Belly Up Fantasy channel is going to do a live stream for the expansion draft. So it's going to be entertaining. You might want to tune in on the 21st, which is a Wednesday, which is 2 weeks from Wednesday. So we'll do some live coverage of who's getting selected. We'll break it down a little bit. We'll see how much it means to the Kraken. And again, I've said it before. I've said it once. I'll say it multiple times. I find it entertaining that the NHL came back to Seattle before the NBA did. And I remember so many years ago when the Sonics, the Seattle Sonics or Supersonics, when they were relocated to the Oklahoma City to become Thunder, David Stern promising a franchise in Seattle over the next decade. Well, it's been 16 years, and Gary Bettman says, "Oh, I see a hole. I can fill this hole. I can fill this professional sports hole in Seattle." And he just got in. He got in. Sorry, Adam Silver. You lost. I said I was going to talk about a little bit about the NBA Finals. I honestly haven't watched the first 2 games of the NBA Finals. I've been kind of clashing with hockey coverage, and I know the Suns are up 2-0. Oh, we have a visitor. Folks, the one, the only from the Sports Stove podcast, we have Vince Stover.
What's going on, Ryan?
Flash and deuces. Look at that.
Yeah, that's right. That's how we do it where I'm from.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Not bad. If I knew you're coming on tonight, I would have brought the Mountain Dew, but instead I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer. So
all right. Well, I got some fresh brewed coffee here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Decaf, I suspect, because it's 8 o'clock. It's 8:03 Eastern time.
Yeah, it's actually caffeinated, surprisingly enough.
Wow.
Might stay up and watch a movie tonight. We'll see.
There you go. So what you want to talk about tonight, my friend?
Well, I heard you start to mention NBA playoffs, and I figured, I should jump on now because I don't know how much I can talk about hockey, but I could talk some basketball.
All right, let's talk some basketball. I mentioned last week that I was kind of in for the NBA playoffs, and not the finals. The finals are here. I know that Phoenix is playing. They're up 2-0. It's what can you tell us about the series so far? What have you seen? Can Milwaukee come back? Can they make it a series again?
Well, I think they can. They're good enough. Last night Giannis played out of his mind. Nobody else contributed for Milwaukee. I think Phoenix is probably the better team as a whole, but I mean, you're talking about going back to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been good at home this season, so it makes sense that they could win both of them at home and make it a series, or even, at least get one in. I would be surprised if Phoenix sweeps Milwaukee. But at this point, man, Phoenix has looked so good. They've been just in control. Chris Paul's been a big part of that. Sure.
I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for the Suns mostly because of him. I want to see he's one of the guys I've always wanted to see win a ring before he rides off into the sunset. And he's got a few years left in the tank. I mean, I know he's 36 years old, but if he's got some in the tank and he can help the Suns win their first NBA title and win his first ring, I'm all in.
Definitely.
With that guy.
My question to you is, are you more interested in the NBA Finals with it being new teams, or less interested because it's not LeBron? No,
I'm interested because it's new team. It's new blood. It's new players who some of our audiences may not know. Like, I guess the kid Booker from the Phoenix Suns, Chris Middleton. Like we know who Giannis Antetokounmpo is. Oh wow, yeah. Say that name 5 times fast. We know who Chris Paul is, but there's the NBA needs fresh blood.
Definitely.
And, we got in the 80s and the 90s. We were treated to, and this is the era I grew up in. We were treated to Michael Jordan, copious amounts of Michael Jordan,
yeah.
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, the Bad Boys. We were treated, and to a lesser extent, the Houston Rockets with Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. There needs to be some new names that people need to recognize out there. People need to know of out there. And I think with 2 new teams being in it, it could definitely boost a little bit of the NBA interest. And I realize that Phoenix and Milwaukee, sure, they're not big. They're not bigger markets. They're not the New Yorks. They're not the LAs. They're not the I don't know what Dallas is like, or Houston's. But they're long time NBA franchises. Phoenix is I think it's Phoenix. They're the longest active NBA franchise who has never won an NBA championship.
Yeah.
They've been around for over 50 plus years. They've been around for 50 plus years. They're the longest running professional sports franchise in the state of Arizona. And they've never won an NBA title. And I that's one narrative I'm hoping to see come out of this.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, fresh blood. I agree 100%, by the way. You had the Warriors kind of make their run a couple years back. You've had LeBron in all kinds of finals as well. And I'm not a LeBron fan, so I never enjoyed seeing LeBron in the finals anyhow. But now you got these guys, and there's young, really good talent here in the finals. I mean, you got Chris Paul, the veteran, but you've got Giannis, who's pretty young. You've got Devin Booker, who's 24. You got DeAndre Ayton, who I think is 22, maybe. You've got some of these young guys. Middleton's young, too, and these are guys that have staying power in the NBA. Booker and Ayton can be superstars because LeBron, let's face it, as good as he still is, he's old, and his time is coming to an end here pretty soon. And guys like Kawhi aren't going to carry the torch because they only play a third of the season. So you need someone that can be fun to watch, and Phoenix is incredibly fun to watch. And then you need that dominance is what Giannis brings. I mean, he had an incredible game too. He just didn't have any help to get a win. So I've watched more basketball in this past week in games 1 and 2 of the finals than I watched in the entire regular season of the NBA. I'd pop in for little spots of the regular season, and then in the playoffs, I'd watch games. But now I'm all in on this. I love watching the finals, and I love that it's these two teams that are in there. To me, I find it more enjoyable to watch than watching the superstar-laden teams like the Warriors, the Nets, or the Nets haven't been in yet, but those guys and LeBron and whatnot from there.
Yeah, I think to see a kind of an underdog team from what I understand, teams like Phoenix, Atlanta, they weren't expected to go as far as they were supposed to.
Right.
And Atlanta had a great year. Milwaukee, I guess they were in the semifinals last year, East semifinal last year.
Yeah, they lost to I don't remember now. But yeah, they made it. They got far.
Miami.
Yeah. Yep.
Miami. And the year before they lost to Toronto on their miracle run in 2019. So, but it's been a while for they're. I don't know. I meant to start paying attention to the NBA now. The hockey season's over.
Right.
Game 3 is tomorrow night, right?
I believe it's either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure which one.
All right, let me check the schedule here.
It might be Sunday since they're moving to Milwaukee.
Yep, Sunday, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I was just talking, actually, guys, before you hopped on, I was actually ending the hockey segment. I was hoping to have Alex from Cannons and Tomahawks here tonight, but I said everybody wants to stop by can stop by. But what were your feelings about this? Did you watch any of the Stanley Cup final?
So I just watched bits and pieces, especially after the way Tampa handled Montreal early in the series. You know, I had this great conspiracy theory that I pitched to Rod Peterson, and then I also pitched on my podcast continually over again that the Canadian government was going to get involved. Once they came to Montreal, they were going to find a way to detain Tampa players or something like that. They were going to get involved and help Montreal out. They did not. They let me down. They didn't do it. But they tried to get a hurricane in Tampa. It almost worked, but.
The Hurricanes almost took Game 5.
yeah. So you know, once I realized that one was over with, Tampa was just the far better team. Montreal had a great run, a phenomenal run.
They did.
But I didn't watch much of it after I saw what Tampa did to them early on.
I'm kind of curious to get your thought on this because the offseason is coming soon. Expansion draft's coming soon. Then we got the entry draft. Then free agency starts. And I know you're a Nashville Predators fan. What's your feeling on the offseason? Are you going to see them? Because they traded Arvidsson, right? To the Kings.
Yep. Was
that a salary cap move, or was that more of a?
It was an expansion draft move. They weren't going to be able. You know, you're getting to that point now where you're trying to figure out who you're going to protect, and there's. Nashville has a roster. There's just too many guys. They know that they're going to lose somebody. So you want to try to get something in return from some of these guys. They got really good draft picks in the Arvidsson trade. Nashville does such an amazing job of adopting those players and just making them part of the community. And the players do a great job too in the community. Arvidsson was one of the fan favorites. So that's a tough loss, but Nashville's starting to get used to that. And they don't leave from free agency. They leave from being traded in most cases. And, I think at this point it was purely a expansion draft situation where, hey, if we're going to lose this guy, let's make sure we get something in return for him.
Now, does that open up the Predators to bring in a prospect for next season, to bring them up and fill that spot where Arvidsson left off?
Yeah, so they had about 3 or 4 young guys getting opportunities in the second half of the season this year, and actually start to contribute for them as well. So I think right now, it's going to be continue to draft and to bring guys along. They've done a pretty good job with that, but they're going to have to make a move to make that next step, and it's going to have to be with the veteran again. And they've proven in the past, David Poyle's a great general manager. He's proven in the past he's willing to take a big swing at somebody. And I think I would not be surprised at all if Nashville goes for someone big this offseason and tries to bring them in. They've got guys that they can move and get value for. So I expect them to go something more veteran this offseason and then continue to go with their draft and bringing guys up that way.
Now, you see me stroking my beard here. This is my scheming face. Would one of those big names happen to be Jack Eichel?
My concern with Eichel, he has a big injury question, doesn't he?
Yes,
possibly
and no.
needing surgery.
There was something about a neck or head injury, and the Buffalo doctor said, "Yeah, he's okay to play," and he says, "No, this doctor I saw says I'm not."
So it's a Kawhi situation.
Kinda. I guess you could say that, but no. Could you see? I mean, I saw on Spot Track yesterday, just kind of doing some investigation, and I know they have two guys making $9 million right now. It was Duchesne, and I can't remember who else makes $9 million on that team on Nashville. Was it Duchesne?
Probably one of the defensemen, isn't it? Or Yossi, maybe?
Ellis or Yossi, yeah. Yossi and Duchesne make about $8 and $9 million respectively. So
yeah,
to bring in another guy who would make $9 million, you would have to give up a lot.
Yeah.
You have to send a lot to Buffalo.
Definitely. Yeah. I'd be a little surprised if that's the way they go. To me, they're close. They're not far off. So they just there may be a piece away, Now they're going to lose some goaltending depth probably this year, as the veteran is going to move on somewhere else more than likely. So you're kind of sitting there now going, okay, Saros is the younger goalie. He's going to be the starter next year. He played most of this season as well. They've got some really talented young goalies, or I think they got two high draft picks in their system right now. So there might be potential to move up prospects for, one of these guys, kind of like they did when they got Subban, I think it is when they traded Seth Jones away. But nonetheless, that probably the way they're looking at is, can they get a guy that they can, in that $5 to $8 million range that can provide a scoring punch and really bolster one of the top two lines, and then from there go forward. I don't know. I like what they did in the second half of the season and in the playoffs. That series, by the way, with Carolina was probably the most entertaining series, I thought, throughout the entire playoffs. Now, I'm a Predators fan, so maybe I'm a little biased, but to me, that was just a phenomenal series to watch. 4 overtime games, I think? And,
the last 4 games were overtime games.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and with the crowd was back there, and it was just, boy, it was exciting. That kind of stuff, that gets you excited for next year and gives you that anticipation for next year, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to steal Jack Eichel somehow, that's one place to revitalize your career. Is Nashville, being in front of those fans and that fan base, and they bring it every night they're home. Yeah.
And Nashville gets an outdoor game this February. They'll be playing in Titans Stadium end of February. So that's going to be more eyes on this season, with having, continued to get some more nationally televised games and stuff like that as well.
Now, do you have any bold predictions for either your Predators or the National Hockey League in general during the off season? Do you have any bold predictions that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Hockey has really let me down. I felt like they dropped the ball during the COVID stuff, just not with their play. The play was great. They haven't done a good job of promoting the sport, I don't think. And they did a little bit better with it this year with doing the regional stuff. Was really smart. I know they did it for COVID reasons, but I thought that drew a little extra attention to the sport, because now you had teams that were normally in different divisions or conferences now playing each other more, but it's close to home. You have people who are probably fans now, friends that could sit and watch games together that normally they wouldn't really play each other very often and see very often. So I thought that was good. As far as bold predictions with rosters and stuff like that, we're going to see, I would say, at least 2, if not 3 big names get traded, I think, in the offseason. And I think there's potential for some movement, because we're seeing it with the other sports, right? Constantly big names getting moved to different teams, whether it be free agency or trades. And I think hockey is not far behind on that. And I think we're going to see some big movement here this offseason. Who? I can't tell you that. Where, I can't tell you that either. But I would say
Yeah.
I go 3 big names. Big names meaning the casual fan has heard of them, and they're going to get moved this offseason.
Okay. All right. So I've got another podcast recording to go to in about 40 minutes or so. So I'm going to wrap
All right.
things up here. Vince, thanks for stopping by.
Hey.
Tell the kind folks at home where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come on, Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at SportsStove, right there. And then you can also find me. I go live Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Sometimes we're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Facebook, but we're always live on YouTube Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. We've got a lot of stuff coming up with the baseball trade deadline coming up. The NFL, we're going to be starting to break down. We're going to start with college football, break down conferences in college football, and then we're going to get into the NFL, breaking down team by team, looking into the NFL coming up really, really soon. So check us out anytime. And thanks again, Ryan, for letting me jump on tonight.
Awesome. Thanks for stopping by, Vince. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Have a good one.
All right. You too, man.
All right.
All right, folks. That was Vince Stover of the Sports Stove podcast. Sometimes he's got all 4 burners going between NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and hockey. Sometimes he has only 3. Sometimes he has just 1 big burner. But as you heard, he's going to do trade deadline stuff. He's going to do some NFL, some breakdown of college football. For myself, I'm a big CFL fan. I'm a big Canadian Football League fan. I can't wait for that season to start up. Football is anywhere you can find it too. I mean, look on YouTube right now. The National Arena League is in play. An indoor football league, Champions Indoor Football. They're about to start their playoffs. So lots of opportunities to watch some football. If you're a football fan, don't be hesitant to check out those other leagues. All right, folks, that's going to wrap things up here at No Credentials Required Friday Happy Hour, again, presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media. One more time, check out our social channels, Twitter and Instagram, Belly Up NCR, Facebook.com/Belly Up Sports NCR, and No Credentials Required on YouTube. I will post the links for both Athletic Brewing Company and Built Bar after the show is over. You can go find out those links, those affiliate links. Feel free to buy a variety pack or a case of the Upside Dawn, which again, for a non-alcoholic brew, this was pretty tasty. So I encourage you to check it out with the link that I'm going to share on my social channels. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it, folks. And until next Friday, have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next week.